want you to hear this conversation about how this man, Jeffrey Epstein, abused young girls by trafficking them and using them sexually all over the world. Thank God if your child is not involved. Remember to click subscribe if you haven't done so, and also like and comment so that our discussions reach you every day. Now let's start this story properly. Comprehensive, detailed, and factual account of Jeffrey Epstein's life, including his early life, rise to wealth and influence, sex crime, allegations and convictions, death, the so-called Epstein files, and how political figures have been connected to him. This summary is based on widely reported facts and confirmed sources. Jeffrey Epstein. Full story, 1953 to 2019. Who was Jeffrey Epstein? Jeffrey Edward Epstein was an American financier, money manager, and convicted sex offender whose life story captivated global attention. Not just for his crimes, but because of his wealth, influential connections, and the controversies that followed his death in jail. He was accused of repeated sexual abuse and trafficking of underage girls, exploited his wealth and access to powerful people, and left behind a legacy of scandal that continues to unfold. Early life and education. Jeffrey Epstein was born January 20th, 1953, in Brooklyn, New York, into a middle-class Jewish family. His mother, Paula, worked part-time as a school aide, and his father, Seymour, was a groundskeeper for the New York City Parks Department. Epstein showed early academic promise. He skipped 2 grades and graduated from Lafayette High School at age 16. After high school, he studied briefly at Cooper Union and then New York University's Quran Institute of Mathematical Sciences, but left without a degree. He later worked as a calculus and physics teacher at the elite Dalton School on Manhattan's Upper East Side, where he attracted notice because of his intelligence and charm, though students also remembered his unusual behavior. At Dalton, Epstein impressed the parent of a student, Bear Stearns CEO Alan Ace Greenberg, who referred him to the investment bank. Epstein started at Bear Stearns in the mid-1970s, eventually rising to the level of limited partner before leaving amid internal investigations into his resume and conduct. Career, wealth, and rise to influence. After leaving Bear Stearns, Epstein began offering financial consultation and wealth management services for the ultra-rich, eventually founding J. Epstein and Company in 1988, which claimed to manage money for billionaires and ultra-wealthy clients. His most prominent long-term client was Leslie Wexner, founder of Victoria's Secret, a relationship that significantly boosted his fortune and elevated his status in elite circles. Epstein lived a luxurious life, owning multiple homes, private jets, and 2 private islands in the U.S. Virgin Islands, Little St. James and Great St. James, which later became infamous. He developed relationships with wealthy businessmen, academics, celebrities, and politicians, allowing him to move comfortably in elite social and financial circles. Some of his known associations included UDATIS, Presidents Bill Clinton and Donald Trump in the 1990s and early 2000s, both photographed with him at social events. High-profile academics, scientists, and business magnates. His wealth and influence raised questions. Where did the money really come from? Financial reviewers and former colleagues have said Epstein's earnings were hard to explain just by legitimate investment work, adding to later speculation about whether his network and access were part of a deeper power strategy. Sex crime allegations and convictions. Early accusations and 2008 conviction. Epstein's criminal history began publicly in 2005, when police in Palm Beach, Florida, began investigating accusations that he had sexually abused a 14-year-old girl. That probe revealed many more alleged victims, young girls who claimed they were recruited, paid, and sexually abused by Epstein and his associates. However, in 2008, Epstein secured a controversial plea deal with federal prosecutors in Florida in which he pleaded guilty to state prostitution charges, including soliciting a minor, and was spared serious federal prison time. He served 13 months in jail with an unusual work release arrangement that let him leave for parts of the day. The deal also granted broad protections to unnamed potential co-conspirators. The leniency of this deal sparked widespread anger and later scrutiny of prosecutors involved in the case, including Alexander Acosta, then U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Florida, who later became U.S. Secretary of Labor. 2019 federal arrest and new charges. Epstein largely avoided federal prosecution until 2019, when investigative reporting by the Miami Herald exposed the breadth of his alleged crimes through interviews with dozens of survivors and previously sealed records. This coverage renewed calls for justice and led to a new federal indictment charging Epstein with sex trafficking of minors and conspiracy to commit trafficking, crimes that could have meant decades in prison. He was arrested in July 2019 at a New Jersey airport while traveling on his private plane. Prosecutors alleged that he orchestrated a network to recruit dozens of underage girls, some as young as 14, for sexual encounters across his properties in New York and Florida. Death in custody, 2019, Epstein's arrest set the stage for what should have been a high-profile trial. But that never happened. On August 10, 2019, Epstein was found dead in his cell at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in Manhattan while awaiting trial. The official New York City medical examiner ruled his death a suicide by hanging. Failures of jail protocol, such as guards falling asleep, cameras malfunctioning, and changes to suicide watch procedures, contributed to widespread speculation and controversy about his death. Epstein's family, along with many in the public, have questioned whether foul play might have been involved, though investigators did not find evidence supporting murder. The Epstein files after Epstein's death, a vast number of documents, emails, flight logs, financial records, and other materials linked to his activities and network became a major point of public and political debate, often referred to as the Epstein files. These documents include millions of pages of records released by the U.S. Department of Justice under laws pushing for transparency, emails and correspondence involving Epstein and many wealthy or influential figures, lists showing who attended his parties, events, and private jets, although presence on such lists does not imply wrongdoing, political fallout and debates. Calls for transparency became part of national political discourse, including during the 2024 and 2025 U.S. political cycles, with lawmakers pushing to make the files public. Some high-profile individuals were mentioned in the released documents, leading to media scrutiny, though many deny wrongdoing or say documentation was taken out of context. Disputes arose over redactions and the partial release of files. Law enforcement reviews, including an FBI assessment, found no clear evidence that Epstein ran a systematic sex trafficking ring on behalf of powerful people or that a secret client list existed. However, new documents have shown extensive contact and communication between Epstein and global elites, including politicians, business leaders, and even Nobel Committee connections. Fueling ongoing scrutiny, prominence, and political connections. Epstein's life connected him to a range of powerful figures across industries and governments. Some of those relationships included 1. United States political leaders. Bill Clinton. Epstein socialized with Clinton in the 1990s and early 2000s and reportedly traveled on Epstein's private jet. Donald Trump. Trump and Epstein knew each other socially in the 1980s/1990s, though they reportedly had a falling out. Recent reviews of documents show conflicting statements about what each knew regarding Epstein's activities. Point 2. Royalty figures like Prince Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, have appeared in documents related to Epstein, and recent political actions, like stripping royal titles, reflect ongoing fallout. Point 3. International elites. Epstein maintained relationships with wealthy business figures and even diplomatic and international elites, such as the former head of a Nobel Committee and Russian business-linked persons, according to released files. These connections contributed to Epstein's aura of influence but have not been proven to be criminal partners in his crimes. Investigators stressed that being mentioned in files doesn't equal conviction of wrongdoing. Legacy and ongoing impact. Even years after his death, Jeffrey Epstein's story continues to affect public discourse. The release and debate over the Epstein files has sparked renewed conversations about accountability, abuse, and justice for survivors, led to legal scrutiny of those who handled Epstein's initial 2008 plea deal, prompted investigations in countries beyond the U.S. as allegations linked to international figures. Epstein's case remains one of the most notorious examples of how wealth and power intersect with criminal justice and how unresolved questions, especially about his death and extensive network, continue to shape political narratives. Remember to subscribe this channel for more videos, and remember that every day we upload video on this channel of Mr. Easy. Thank you.